Hello. Hello. Uh-oh. One little move and it stops charging. Come on. My charging cord is at the phase where if it's not, oh, there you go. Charging. This is a thing I got at the hospital. They had them on mannequin heads. You can make them go in like all kinds of different ways, for like on your head. But I can't figure out one way. And it's very hot. It's like a jersey fabric. And I find it hot. I prefer like a bamboo or silk scarf. And it's a tube. It's tight. I don't like things crushing my brain. I get headaches easily now for some reason. Well, I know the heat is definitely adding to it, but it was free, so I took it anyway. This was the least offensive pattern they had. They were all like really busy, ugly patterns. That was the least offensive. I'm very hot and tired. So I don't know if my reading will be good. I can't really go anywhere because I'm too weak and tired. So I'm just sitting here on YouTube. I need a meat locker. I need ice. What do you need? Tell me what you need. I need a lot of things. Oh, this works well. Oh. Except, oh, it's garbage day. I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand garbage trucks or like the ones here. They go up and down the street like 7 times during the day without picking anything up. It's like, oh, there's the garbage truck. They don't pick anything up. And then a little later, oh, there's a garbage truck, but they don't pick anything up. Sometimes it's like 5 o'clock when they pick it up. If you're going by, shouldn't you pick it up? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. This is a very loud fan. I need more lemon Perrier. I tried to go to the nearest dépanneur. A dépanneur in Quebec is like a convenience store, a corner store. It's not very far, but I got so hot, I was like, uh-oh. I started getting panicky and I was like, turn around. Don't even try to keep going. Turn around so at least you don't keep getting further away from home. The good thing is I'm not in the middle of nowhere. So if I did like have some kind of spell of anything, there's always people around who help. So that's good. But all I wanted was some ketchup, and some mayonnaise for my French fries. Because I don't have anything. I have French fries, yummy French fries, but I don't have anything to dip them into. I painted my nails this color. Like my headgear. Somebody please come. I feel funny talking to myself. I was watching back the live from from last time, a few days ago, where I read 2 chapters and it was horrible. The video was all messed up. It was all like pixely and weird, and there were so many sound glitches. So what's the point of doing a live if it doesn't even work? But it got 16 likes. But I don't want to submit, I don't want to produce subpar material. Because if I wanted to listen to someone read a book and the sound was all messed up, well, then what's the point? It's like those people who upload TV shows, but they speed up the sound so they sound like chipmunks or something. That's not enjoyable. I'm not watching Golden Girls like that. I need someone to fan me nonstop. I don't have a fan. I know that's my own fault. I could just get a fan and plug it in. I don't have an air conditioner. I don't like air conditioners though. I like real air. See, this is real air. How do air conditioners work? They're like recycling the air, aren't they? Doesn't sound healthy. Please, if someone's here, show yourself. I was hungry. I was like, I'll bring something while I walk to the store. So I brought 2 little ginger cookies. Now, I like ginger cookies, but I didn't realize these were like insanely ginger, and they were hot. They were like too hot. I think they added to my heat, to my hotness, these ginger cookies. I thought it would be, you know, like just a regular ginger snap that grandma made. But they're from the Indian store, so they're really spicy. Ginger is supposed to be good for you, but well, when I get sushi, I usually eat the ginger, but not with the sushi. And I don't touch that green stuff. Actually, sometimes I do. I'll take like a little bit on my chopstick and just go, and it's like, ooh. But I only put the sushi in the soy sauce. Sushi's pretty and makes me feel nice. So I'm too tired and weak and hot to go to the store. So what do I eat my French fries with? I have nothing to dip into. I need a condiment. Okay, I'm going to grab my book. Who's here? My phone's not charging. One little. Oh, now it is. Oh, now it's not. Oops, I joggled it. Now it's not charging. Uh-oh. Who wants to refresh us on where we are in the book? I would die if I put my wig on. I'm looking at it and like, oh, it's so cute. It makes me feel better. Well, it wouldn't today, let me tell you. Oh, yeah. I always, when I look at the end of the chapter, I'm like, oh, yeah. It was an exciting end. It was a cliffhanger. They didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car. I know that, Mr. Man. I know you all love misery as much as I do. Nancy got her car back. Yippee. Okay. At the end of chapter 16, Let's look around here some more, Nancy suggested. With luck, maybe we'll find some clues to the identity of Suggs' pals. Not on your life, Bess retorted. Nancy Drew, don't forget your promise to Ned. Nancy gave a sigh of resignation. She had just driven onto the drawbridge when the girls heard creaking, groaning sounds in the wood beneath them. The next second, the bridge began to lift. Bess screamed, Nancy, the bridge is opening. We'll be thrown off. They didn't get out of the car. And there was a picture too, remember? Looks like a hovercraft. There's the picture. Little check. How long is this chapter? Not too long. I'm not guaranteeing that I can get through like even one page of this. Chapter 17, Telltale Tracks. As the drawbridge rose creakingly, Nancy put her car engine into reverse, sped backward down the incline and into the courtyard. She was just in time to keep the convertible from turning over or being crushed. Nancy, don't give me a scare like that again. I don't know. It's funny. I'm hot and tired, so it's funny. Don't give me a scare like that again, Bess begged. Her cousin looked at her disdainfully. Does she ever not look at her disdainfully? You'd think it was Nancy's fault. We're lucky to be alive, thanks to her. George is so in love with Nancy, right? Bess apologized, saying she had not meant to imply Nancy was a poor driver. In yesterday's chapter of The Hidden Staircase, Mr. Drew said that Nancy is always a very safe driver. To forestall an argument, Nancy said, What on earth made the bridge rise? The three girls climbed out of the car. They looked at the bridge, which was not tightly in place in the castle wall. The bridge certainly wouldn't go up by itself, said George, unless the vibration of the policeman's car loosened the wires and released the secret mechanism. This means we're prisoners here, unless we leave the car and swim across, said Bess with a sigh. Not necessarily, Nancy told her. Maybe I can let the drawbridge down. How about the police? Bess asked suddenly. Maybe if we honk the horn loudly enough, they'll come back. She moved toward the car to do this. But though Bess kept her hand on the horn for half a minute, there was no response. George and Nancy had moved to the drawbridge. Together, they tugged and yanked at the heavy iron chains which let the bridge up and down. One side worked, but the other refused to budge. I think the trouble's up where the chain goes through the wall, Nancy stated. I'll go and find out. But how? George asked. You can't climb up a sheer wall. Nancy smiled. But look at the step-like niches in the stonework, she said. They might be just the trick. Okay, said George, but what are you going to hold on to? There are some pretty heavy vines on this wall, Nancy observed. The next moment, she had grasped a stout stem of the ivy. She swung herself onto it to try its strength. It'll hold me all right, she said. What ingenuity that Drew girl has. My goodness. I need ice popsicles. I can't even say it. Ice popsicles. Apparently in France, they have a mint flavored Perrier. I know it's easy to just put some mint in your water, but it would be nice. One time, well, I never see it anymore. One time I got apple Perrier, green apple Perrier, and it was really good. Now I never see it anymore. Have I already gone on my rant about glass bottles? Because this tastes like crap in plastic compared to a glass bottle. But they only have the regular kind in the glass bottles, usually. Plastic everywhere. I don't like it. And I don't recycle. Doesn't make sense, does it? Oh well. Yeah, I think a little later I'm gonna. Me neither. Me neither what? You don't recycle? Don't tell cereal mom. I won't tell. I'm not a tattletale. Yay. Oh my gosh, is Nancy going to fall to her death? I'm looking ahead. You know what? I'm going to get some water out of the fridge because this isn't cold anymore. Speak amongst yourselves. Why does the water not get not? I wanted to get a Gatorade too. Where's my glass? I wanted to get a Gatorade. That's supposed to be good for me when I'm dehydrated. I don't even like Gatorade. But it does make me feel less dehydrated. And I need to be less dehydrated. What time is it where you are? It's 1:46 p.m. here. What have I done today? Nothing. Well, that's not true. I tried to make a phone call. I can only stay on hold for so long, though. I listened to Mrs. Robinson. What was the other song? I don't remember. Moon River, and then something else. And I was like, that's enough. Alrighty. It'll hold me all right, she said. Quickly, Nancy inched her way up the wall, using the vines and niches. When she reached the top of the drawbridge, she began to examine the bulky chain and the cogwheel over which it ran. Nancy discovered that the chain was wound around two of the teeth in such a way that the wheel could not turn and release the bridge. Holding onto the vine stem firmly with one hand, the young sleuth endeavored to lift the chain and unwind it. At first, she could not budge the heavy iron links, and once she almost lost her balance. "Be careful," George warned. "Want me to come up and help?" "Maybe you'd better," said Nancy. "But whatever you do, pick out a different vine from mine." George chuckled and followed instructions. "I knew being a tomboy would come in handy someday," she called, as she made her ascent. Soon she was beside her chum. The two girls worked hard, but they did not dare tug too strenuously for fear that the force would unbalance them in their precarious positions. Finally, they managed to get the links back into the cogs in a straight line. "Thank goodness," said George. Nancy heaved a sigh. "I'm pretty relieved myself. Now all we have to do is see if it works." "It's gonna work." George grinned. "And I suppose you'd like me to climb down and test it." She descended and released the two chains. At once the drawbridge was lowered. "That's simply marvelous," cried Bess. "You girls are positive geniuses." "Anyway," said George, We're not such bad mechanics. When Nancy reached the ground, she insisted that the cousins walk across the bridge. I'll come alone in the car. If anything goes wrong again, you can hurry off for help. Bess and George waited with bated breath, but Nancy made it safely. Her friends climbed into the convertible and she headed toward town. I'm starved, said Bess. Adventure always makes me hungry. George laughed. Tension is supposed to take away your appetite, she said, not increase it. Nancy suggested that they head for the brass kettle. Maybe Mrs. Hempstead will give us some more information about Mr. Seaman. When they entered the tea room, the girls were delighted to see the old lady in her rocking chair. At once she motioned to them. I haven't had a soul to talk to all morning, she complained. Tell me what you've been doing. Just saving the world. Ouch. I think I'm hungry. Like, I'm more hungry than I usually am. Yes, it's true. Like, I never feel hungry, usually. All my medical woes started over 10 years ago with my gallbladder. But ever since they took my gallbladder out, like, I don't feel hungry, you know? You know when it's like, I don't know, almost whatever supper time is supposed to be, and you're like, oh, I'm hungry. I never get hungry. I eat because I enjoy eating, and I know that I will die if I do not. But I never feel like hunger pangs or anything. But maybe it's because I'm bored. Like I have no energy and I can't do anything, so I'm sitting around a lot. Also, the pharmacist from the hospital called me to ask me how my first treatment was. And she talked to me for a long time. It was really good. And I told her all my concerns and whatnot. But she said, well, I told her about how I can't sleep. And I said, well, I know I'm supposed to get some exercise every day, you know, at least go for a little walk. But when I was like an athlete, when I was doing dragon boat, obviously, when you exercise, you sleep well. Plus, especially when we were outside on the water, you know, you get the fresh air, you're exercising. It was always in the evening, my practice, and then it's going to make you sleep better. Well, I'm too weak to do much exercise now, so I don't have the benefit of, you know, getting my body exhausted and then falling asleep. My brain is active. Sometimes I wish my brain was like as inactive as my body feels. Do you know what I mean? All right, let's see what this old lady has to say. We've been out for a ride, Nancy said nonchalantly. You know, Mrs. Hempstead, I never have received the present from Mr. Seaman that he told you about. Has he been around lately? No, he hasn't, Mrs. Hempstead replied. But you know, I heard a funny thing about him. Instantly, the girls were alert and asked her what it was. I'm listening to neighbors. The old lady rocked determinedly, as if she were angry. He fooled me. That's what he did, she said. Shut up. I'm trying to concentrate on the story. Oh, annoying people who moved in again. Jeez. Clint Eastwood time. See, I lost my train of thought because of people outside, not. Where's my brain? Have a nice day. Thanks for joining me for part of the chapter. Hopefully the playback works well and isn't all glitchy. All this time, I thought he was a traveling salesman, but I was told just last night that he's working out at old Mrs. Wilson's. The girls could hardly suppress smiles. Mrs. Hempstead felt that she had been duped and did not like it. She went on to say that Mrs. Wilson was a wealthy widow who lived on the outskirts of Deep River. I want to live in a place where there's like retirees or something. Quiet ones. Quiet old people. Oops. Show me the chat. Go away, youngsters. Okay. The girls could hardly Mrs. Wilson was a wealthy widow who lived on the outskirts of Deep River. Up to a short time ago, Mrs. Hempstead continued, Mrs. Wilson kept 4 servants, but now she only has a couple. I suppose the woman is Mr. Seaman's wife. Mrs. Wilson never comes to town anymore. There are rumors around here she's not well. That's too bad, Nancy said sympathetically. Do Mr. and Mrs. Seaman take care of her? I suppose so, Mrs. Hempstead said. Folks don't know what's going on out there anymore. The couple never come to town either. They order all their food and supplies by telephone. Funny thing, too, the delivery boys never see anybody. The money is left outside in the milk box. Instantly, Nancy's mind flew back to the similar story about Grandmother Horton. Could the Seamans be the same couple she had had? Nancy told herself she was going to follow up this clue at once. As casually as possible, she asked Mrs. Hempstead the location of Mrs. Wilson's home. Well, when you get out on the main road, you take the road toward the old castle. After you pass the castle, take the next road to the left that you come to. Mrs. Wilson's house is way down at the end near the water. The 3 girls explained that they wanted to have lunch and said goodbye to Mrs. Hempstead. As soon as they were seated and had ordered their luncheon, Nancy told Bess and George that she wanted to go out to the Wilson home directly after the girls finished eating. About an hour later, Nancy drove within sight of the Wilson house. She decided to hide her car along the wooded roadside. Hope it doesn't get stolen again. It's Friday. I'm like, it's Friday, okay. People can be more raucous on the weekend, I suppose. I'm not a raucous person in general. I never was raucous, and I never will be. I know everyone's different. I don't hold it against raucous people. It's just the way they are. Let's walk up the Wilson driveway and try not to make ourselves conspicuous, she cautioned. Fortunately, the drive was a curving one, bordered by trees and thick shrubbery. Suddenly, George exclaimed, Look! Tire tracks that don't match. They're just like the ones we saw at the castle. The girls stooped to examine them. 3 of the tires had parallel grooves. The one on the right rear wheel was diamond-shaped. We're on the trail of something, all right, Bess remarked. But let's not get ourselves captured. They hurried along the side of the road, ready to hide among the trees and bushes if a car should come along or any people appear. They neared the end of the driveway, where the trees on the far side ended, and a long green lawn extended for some distance. Girls, Nancy whispered tensely. She pointed to their left. The tower of Moonstone Castle was in plain view. Anyone standing here could have watched Jake Suggs signaling. Ooh, said Bess. I'm not sure what her temperament is here. Ooh, said Bess. Ooh, said Bess. Ooh, said Bess. Whatever. I've seen enough. Let's go back. No, said Nancy. We have a real clue this time. She came from behind a tree, walked up to the front door, and boldly lifted the big brass knocker. End of chapter 17. Bess is always the voice of reason. Let's get out of here. Let's go get a burger and a shake. So that is all I can handle today. It's one chapter. No more pictures. 3 more chapters. No more pictures. I wonder what they're going to find behind the door. I want to do something, but I can't because I'm too hot and tired. What can I do to get tired and just fall asleep or something? I need ice. I need a big freezer just filled with ice and popsicles. Ice, popsicles, and steak. That's what I want. I'll check the next chapter. It's called Worried Plotters. And I'm not going to read it right now. Perino's still in his boat. Gosh, he's been in his boat forever. Oh. Now what? I have to entertain you. I always check the calendar, right? Right. Earlier I was like, it's only the 21st. There's 10 more days in this month. Come on, day. Go by. Go faster. Oh, well. I mean, look on the bright side. What is the bright side? You didn't have to go to the hospital today. I didn't have to go to the hospital today. What else is bright? I have French fries. French fries are hot though. Oh, but they're good. They're good. If I'm not reading, it's just dead air. Well, I'm really enjoying the hidden staircase very much. And after I finish the original hidden staircase, I'm going to read the newer one, which I also like. And it'll be fun to do one after the other and compare them. Well, I think I'm going to go now. I'm going to take my temperature, make sure I don't have a fever, then take some Tylenol and just lie my head down and Maybe I can do like some exercises in bed, like leg lifts or something. That's exercise, isn't it? Sometimes when I'm in bed, I put my arm up like this. And it's really relaxing. I just put my arm like that. That's not an exercise, but it's relaxing. I need more rose water. Rose water makes me feel good. Natural rose water. I just like dump it on myself. I've been dumping it on my head and just going, ugh. And it's good for your mood. The smell's good for your mood. And it's very cool and refreshing. And I have to get some more, but that involves leaving the premises. I would like to live, is it Alaska, where they have a whole bunch of like darkness during the year? That would be great for me. Sun hurts me very much. Oh no, what am I getting on my face? I also use the witch hazel that has rose water in it on my face. That's nice. I like to use natural stuff. And it's cheap too. I don't understand, well, to each her own, but women who buy all these like high priced not department store, I don't know, like, you know, the really expensive brands, and they're all like chemicals and stuff, and on the commercial they're like reverse the signs of aging and all that. I like to use natural stuff. Smells good. It's cheaper, but to each her own. All right, that's enough of that, I think. I'm too tired to read The Outsiders. It's small print. It's not like the Bible, but it's smaller than Nancy Drew. Just tell me to press the X and I'll be gone, okay? Say, Nancy, press the X, please, so we can get out of here. The convenience store in the, actually, that's closer. My metro station is very, very close, and they have big popsicles. Mr. Freeze, that's a Canadian brand, but it's like one of those long ice popsicle guys. Oh, that would be good. I'm gonna go. I think I can make it there. Yep. I can make it there, and I'm gonna get 2 popsicles. But I'm not gonna buy anything else there because it's insanely expensive. Sometimes I have to buy a bottle of water there because I'm gonna die if I don't get water. And it's cool. It's very expensive. All right. I'm going to get a popsicle. Please stay cool if you are in a hot zone. And maybe I'll record a chapter of The Hidden Staircase, depending on how I'm feeling. Because it ended quite excitingly with Carson Drew not being very intelligent. His judgment was clouded over his concern for Nancy, but he was a real bonehead in that chapter. I mean, come on. All right. Bye, everyone.